This video we're going to have a quick look at the SKMEI Men's Digital Sport Watch. This thing is available on Aliexpress, Wish, Banggood, that kind of thing. They usually list them about $20. They'll say, you know, recommended retail price is $150 or more. They offer specials all the time, so they're kind of $15, $12 to $15. They pitch them as a G-Shock style watch competitor. They don't expect anything like a G-Shock though for that sort of money. As you can see, this one is no longer on the band. It has a fairly thick sort of rubber band, but it wasn't the spring bars that broke on this, it was the band just pulled apart. This one's actually been worn, not worn by a 10-year-old, which he wears his G-Shock Square. This little baby, the cheapest G-Shock Square all the time, beats the living hell out of it. It's still fine. The SKMEI that he wears is worse for wear, and the band just fell apart. It wasn't the spring bars. The spring bars were okay, and where it attaches to the watch is okay. That didn't bust apart, but the band blew apart very quickly. We thought about putting it on another band. I might see if I can find a cheap one. But the other thing with this watch is that itself, the buttons sprang out, and while they're, I guess, G-Shock style buttons, again, do not expect that sort of quality from this very cheap watch. Now, very basic, limited functionality. There's no way I'd be risking this thing in the water, I must say. It's the standard sort of functionality with this thing, but you get a lot of little details on the face there, dual time, and the rec receive for the I guess it's a G-Shock copy, in that it says that, you know, it's trying to look like it can receive a signal to set itself via radio. That doesn't happen. The rec ST TR alarm, etc., that's in that display is very G-Shock style, but they don't operate like a G-Shock with putting the bars in there. If you activate the functions, it actually just brings it up in that window. AL for alarm, ST for stopwatch. Then you get into the settings, but that it doesn't have a countdown timer. It doesn't actually have a dual time either. It's simply, well, I guess you could say it's dual time. You can set the digital different to the analog display because they're both set manually, but really you're getting this thing. It's got a basic stopwatch and it does have an alarm. I don't know, it's cheap. It could be useful for a kid if you wanted to sort of give them a G-Shock style thing. The other buttons are not actually doing anything. Your mode button, the light is kind of interesting. It has that negative display, so the light kind of lights the negative display. It doesn't have any kind of dual light function like a G-Shock. The light is not very bright, but you know, it works. The analog, there is a tiny little bit of lume on the analog. Let me just blast that off site, and you know, it lasts about 20 seconds, but it's there. Honestly, I'd sort of spend double the money and go with the G-Shock rather than this thing, because it's not very useful at all. Size comparison, the thing is huge. It's a large watch. I'll put it here, if we have a look at it next to a G-Shock, this is one of the bigger metal G-Shocks. It's comparatively sized. It's much thicker. Good luck getting a band to replace for that, actually, because I doubt many things will fit it. I think it's about a 20, maybe even an 18, but it's got to have that custom part that fits the top there. So look, that's a quick look. Actually, you can see the scratches on the face there. I mean, a bit of polywash should fix that. It's a pretty cheap sort of plastic watch face. Look, don't expect too much at the price, right? But honestly, I'd see if I could pick up a G-Shock with a dead battery for $10 and go for that instead. At least you could guarantee that it's going to work underwater and take a bit of a beating. This thing, I'd save my money.